This is TWiT.
I heard you are kind of a whiskey aficionado. And so I'm putting you on the spot.
Really?
Do you want to do a whiskey pick of the week? And you don't have to. I could do a beer pick.
Before you do it, or if you do it, we have to know. I have to know.
Mm-hmm.
Do you prefer like smoky kind of whiskeys, or like a Scotch kind of like smoky Scotch style, or like a bourbon style?
Scotch number one, bourbon number two.
Yeah.
Scotch number one, bourbon number two. And my pick, I will start sort of middle ground with my pick of the week with Scotch whiskey. We will say Macallan 12. That is a
nice. Classic.
Highland classic single malt Scotch whiskey. You're going to get a little bit of vanilla notes on the nose and a really, really clean finish. Just pour yourself 2 fingers of it and let it sit for about 10 minutes or so to air out a little bit. And you'll really be able to bring out those vanilla notes, and it'll be a nice, smoother whiskey for you.
What's your, how do you feel about ice?
It depends. If I'm going to put ice or any water in there, it's only going to be maybe like a teaspoon of chilled water. Because I don't want to water it down too much, because you lose a little bit of the tasting notes on it. But most of the time, I'm just neat 2 fingers. But if you let it sit for 10 minutes or so, you're going to lose a lot of that burn, that harsh burn that any whiskey is going to give you. So, definitely Macallan 12 is my pick this time. It's not my favorite, but it's a good middle of the road to get people into the world of single malt Scotch whiskey.
Nice.
Wow. I agree.
That's good. You know, I know nothing about whiskeys at all, but it's good to hear you just give kind of an intro pick. I think that's nice.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Thank you. Now, do you have a whiskey of choice, Mr. Thurrott?
Yes. Well, so first of all, I'm a big fan of Irish whiskey. So like I would say, like for like a real starter whiskey, like just a Jameson, basic Jameson is good. But Macallan 12 is fantastic. But as far as like a really, really good Scotch, it's, I'm not going to pronounce it right because it's Scottish, but it's like Aberlour is the company. It's Aberlour. Like I said, I don't pronounce it correctly, but the Abunda, which you can now correct as well, is just, and I had it live on Windows Weekly when we were out in San Francisco for probably a PDC or whatever, and it was Richard Campbell who gave it to me, and he ruined my life. And it was, I did not let it sit for 10 minutes, and my first reaction was, I think I just got shot in the tongue. But we now don't have a bottle of this at home. It's fantastic.
When I was here visiting TWiT, before our announcement of me joining TWiT, we had Aberlour right here on the set. And
nice.
I took it upon myself and walked out of the studio with it.
Yes, smart. So as we were drinking it that day, the first time I had it, Leo tried to abscond with it, and I prevented that from happening.
That was like one of the most legendary Windows Weekly episodes ever in the studio. Yeah,
I think it was Richard and Carl, right? Wasn't Carl Franklin there as well? It was
Richard, Carl. And all of us were on live on the screen in the studio, and I was the only sober one there because I was drinking beer and not whiskey.
It was a good day.
Yeah,
I enjoy your beer picks each week.
Thanks.
There's so many out there from the microbrewery standpoint, and I like to try to check off a list to see what I can get my hands on and try something different, you know. So I've always looked forward to your picks on that.
Oh, nice. Thanks.